Help support Name Explained by leaving a like and a comment, sharing this video and by subscribing to the channel.
At the start of the year, I always like making a video looking into words that got added to the dictionary in the previous year, 2023 in this case. Yet as I was scrolling through the new words added to the Oxford English Dictionary, which is my dictionary of choice but others are available, I noticed some really interesting trends in their updates. The OED like to add words that relate to one another in bulk during the year, whether that be words relating to a certain subject, words starting with a specific prefix, or words that are being introduced to English from another language. So instead of just me rattling off 10 words I got a kick out of this year, I'd rather highlight the specific trends in words that the OED added to its hefty tome in 2023. The first one of these trends you'll notice, primarily because these words start with the letter A, so appear first alphabetically, are all the anti-words that got added throughout 2023, but mainly in their first update of the year that happened in March 2023. Anti on the whole means you are against something or even the opposite of it, and we see it used in a ton of words already, like antivirus or antifreeze. Well, in 2023, a boatload more of these anti-words got into the OED too. Some of these are pretty easy to understand from just looking at the words. Words like anti-government and anti-expansion, which got added in 2023, are easy to understand from the get-go, but other ones like anti-Calvinistic might need a tad more explaining. This is to be against Calvinism, a branch of Christianity set up by John Calvin. Another fun one which got added in 2023 was antigram. This is when an anagram of a word has the opposite meaning of the original word, like how non-fire is an anagram of inferno. One that has nothing to do with being against something is anticuchco. This is a kind of marinated piece of meat served on a skewer and eaten in South America. From what I can gather, it's just a coincidence that this starts with anti, but it's cool that a Latin American word made its way into an English dictionary. I'm left wondering why so many anti-words made their way into the dictionary last year. It's easy to be pessimistic about it and just presume it's because the world is more negative these days or something, but it's probably just because they realized these words weren't in here already or something, and as they were being used more, it made sense to finally put them in. There were also some pretty crazy words added to the dictionary in 2023 too. Not words that sound crazy or have crazy meanings, but literally words that start with crazy. The 5 crazy words that got into the dictionary in 2023 are Crazy 8, a kind of playing card game, Crazy Glue, a kind of very strong adhesive, Crazy Making, the term to refer to the cause of someone thinking or acting in an unpredictable way, and finally there's Crazy Pants. This doesn't refer to an especially extravagant pair of underwear or trousers, but means someone who is lacking in intelligence or are highly eccentric. I'm sure we've all felt a little crazy pants in our life at some point. I guess someone over at the OED was feeling a little crazy this year or something. There was also a small collection of words added this year that were more silly than crazy. That's not saying they featured the word silly in them, they are just a bit goofy sounding. The 3 words added in 2023 that I'm defining as silly sounding are confuddled, dipsy-doodle, and golly gosh. These 3 words just sound cute and silly to me. And what's interesting is that they're all pretty old words. It's amazing they only just got in. Confuddled means to be confused or mixed up, being a corruption of confused. OED's oldest use of it comes from 1874. Dipsy Doodle means something with an unusual appearance and was first recorded in 1896. And golly gosh is used as an exclamation of surprise and dates back to 1835. Golly gosh is a term so linked with the past that I'm amazed that only just made it in. But going back to words that have the same prefix in them, we have many deep words that got into the dictionary this year too. This isn't so much provocative philosophical words, but words which feature the word deep. An example, deepfake, a term that has been talked about an awful lot in recent years, has finally been added. There's also terms like deep cleaning, which means to wash something thoroughly, deep sea diver, which means someone who swims in deep waters, deep breath, meaning a long inhalation of air, and my favorite, deep buttoned. This is an adjective used to describe a piece of upholstered furniture with buttons embedded deep into it. I've always enjoyed this kind of design and found it satisfying, so it's cool that it has its own word now. The OED is a resource filled deep with words and their meanings, and now this dictionary can go even deeper with all these deep words. And while the OED is primarily a dictionary focusing on the English-speaking world, words from other languages regularly make it in. This is because English often borrows words from around the world, which makes sense as English is so darn prevalent on our globe. You could even argue that English's popularity is due to the fact that it happily borrows from other languages. We have already seen this with the aforementioned Latin American anticuchco, but in 2023, the OED recognized a plethora of words from the Maori language of Aotearoa, aka New Zealand. This includes words like iri, which is a Maori term for a community, and kamautau, which is the title for the senior member of said community. Other terms include pohiri, which is a Maori welcoming ceremony, wahintaui, a female warrior, Turkana, an elder sibling, and even their word for language, Rio. It's so cool seeing these Maori terms entering the English language. And while not directly related to Maori specifically, the word of Kiwiness entered the OED in 2023 too. This is used to refer to something from New Zealand, coming from their demonym of Kiwi. Aotearoa had a pretty good year in regards to additions to the OED, that's for sure. But they weren't the only nation / language to get a huge amount of lexical recognition in 2023. The nations which feature Turk in their name, Turkey and Turkmenistan, also got words relating to them added in 2023. This includes words like Turkified, which means to make something more Turkish, and even the terms of Turkophobia and Turkophobic, which means having a fear of the nation of Turkey or to the Turkish population in general. There's also terms like Turkish Cypriot, which means a Turkish person who lives in Cyprus. Turkish knot, a kind of knot from the land. Turkish symbol, as in a symbol made in Turkey. And even Turkish van, which isn't a kind of large car, but instead a cat breed for some reason. The 3 OED words added in 2023 that relate to Turkmenistan, however, are Turkestani, Turkmenian, and Turkmenistani. All are denonyms for people who live in this country and the historical area. Well done to the Turk countries this year, though I hope there aren't any Turkophobic people watching this video. I haven't been, but the nation looks amazing. Though some of my favourite words that got into the dictionary in 2023 are some of the really nerdy ones. I imagine many of the people who work for the OED are pretty big nerds. It kind of comes with the territory, so it makes sense why these words would get in, along with the rise in popularity of nerd culture and elements of it that were once seen as niche becoming more mainstream. For example, cosplay as a verb got in 2023. Cosplay means to dress like a fictional character, normally a convention of some kind or just for social media. Speedrun, which means to play a video game in the fastest way possible, also got in this year too, as did headcanon, which is often used by lovers of a specific fictional world for what they think is true in that world but not confirmed. Another great nerdy word that got in is Spidey Sense. This of course relates to the Amazing Spider-Man and their ability to sense things before they happen. The Spidey Sense has become such a staple of popular culture that people use it all the time, even not in the context of the wall crawler. Also, Chonky got in too, which is kind of nerdy I guess. It's used a lot in memes, and memes have their origin with online nerds, right? I don't know, I just love the word and happy to see it get recognition from the OED. If you aren't aware, it's simply a cute way of saying chunky. A collection of words that are nerd adjacent which got in are words relating to the world of video. I call these nerd adjacent because you hear a lot of them in the realms of YouTube and TikTok, which are nerdy too, I guess. I just needed a good transition to talk about these. The word of DSLR got in 2023, which means digital single lens reflex, and is often followed by the word camera. DSLRs tend to be the cameras of choice for many video makers. Another acronym that got in is AMOLED, which stands for Active Matrix Organic Light Emitting Diode. It's basically a very fancy kind of screen, as did speech to text and text to speech, something that has become increasingly popular thanks to those annoying voices on TikTok. Seriously, TikTok is the worst. But perhaps the strangest collection of words that made it into the dictionary in 2023 are the really horny words that got in. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Someone at the OED must have been really thirsty this year or something. I'm saving these for last in the hopes the YouTube bots have gotten bored by now and stopped watching. Also, I won't go into too much detail on these words as I want the best chances possible of keeping this video monetized. Words relating to romantic relationships or sexualization in general that got in include gimp, underboob, down blouse, simp, flirtationship, fetishizing, butt lift, kink shame, rail meaning to have intercourse, and my absolute favourite word added to the Oxford English Dictionary in 2023, balls deep. What I love about this one is the fact it can be used in way more than just a sexual context. For example, I've gone balls deep into the dictionary to make this video. Now, suffice to say, 2023 was a pretty wild year for the OED. From words relating to specific nations, to words all starting in the same way, to some really nerdy and really horny words. Language is something that changes every year, and I'm always happy to look back on what words made the cut each and every year. Feel free to check the updates for yourself, and let me know some other words I didn't mention in this video. But here's to whatever nonsense 2024 throws our way. We got this.
Name Explain depends on viewers like yourself supporting the channel financially on Patreon, so a huge thank you to everyone who does. Donating just $1 a month helps the channel amazingly and gets you bonuses including ad-free videos, exclusive content, the power to request ideas to be made into actual Name Explain videos, and your name at the end of the video with all these awesome people. Visit patreon.com/Name Explain or click the link down below to find out how you too can support the channel. Thank you. Thanks for reaching the end of the video. Why not watch another and subscribe to keep up to date on all things Name Explain. You can find myself on Instagram where I'm Name Explain YT, and join the Facebook group Friends of Name Explain to talk with myself and other name nerds. All that will be linked down below. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and once again, thank you all so much.